Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here, welcome back to Gents. I don't know why I'm talking like that. So you want to be the best smelling guy in 2026? Best smelling in the universe? I can help you with that if you buy my new Alpha Manosphere course. Just $99 per day. Guaranteed results. It's fine. Hey friends, I already said hey friends, I forgot that. I got for you guys some of the best smelling stuff that you could possibly wear right now. All of it's gonna be linked in the description. Let's begin. With, what is that? Ah, these. Ah. This is Arashi Reef and French Quarter. These are the two most recent fragrances that I have creatively directed, released underneath the Michael Malul brand. Am I biased? No, of course not. So yeah, these bad boys have been in the works for a minute. For a while. Well over a year, and now they are finally released. Which, as of right now, there is a coupon, which is right here, that you can use to take money off if you would like to order it off the internet. It's linked in the description. You can find it a bunch of different places. Find it, find them. You can also find them in stores, Perfumania, and the Fragrance Outlet, any of those in the US, so you can stop in those stores, spray them out, check them out in person, so you don't have to blind buy. If you have one of those nearby, absolutely just go and blast those suckers on. There's also 10 ml sizes you can order off Michael Malul's website as well. So just a lot of different ways to check them out. You don't have to just automatically buy the big bottle blind if you don't want to. I mean, if you do, go for it, but you know. So both of these right here are very, very different. Arashi Reef first, this is gonna be more for spring and summer, especially summer. Full note breakdown is pink currant, lemon zest, passion fruit pulp, and tangerine off the top, papaya blossom, jasmine orchid, and coral reef in the mid. What does a coral reef smell like? And then in the base, vanilla, coconut wood, blonde patchouli, amber, and musk. So this one is obviously super tropical. Women absolutely love this, but be warned, they also love stealing it. In terms of other fragrances that you might be familiar with, it's probably gonna remind you the most of something like Herba Pura. Now that being said, I actually hate the way Herba Pura smells, but I love the way this smells. This is very weird. So if you do a side-by-side, really different, but in the same overall ballpark. Massive attention grabber, great performance. Again, perfect for summertime. This stuff is awesome. And this was actually the first one that got finished, because when we got this one in from the perfumer, it was just like, that is sick. And then we dialed it in pretty quick afterwards. So that is Arashi Reef. French Quarter. This is more for fall, winter, and maybe early spring. In terms of the note breakdown, off the top, it has bitter orange, crisp apple, and cinnamon. Then ginger, sazerac, and myrrh in the mid, sugar cube, cashmerean, and vanilla in the base. So the reason it's called French Quarter is because of that sazerac accord. And this one is gonna fit right in with those current fragrances that are warm, spicy, sexy, sweet with a good dose of vanilla. Not overdone with vanilla because it has that nice booziness which kind of adds a little edge to the scent. But it smells really modern, great performance on this one as well. That stuff, absolutely an attention monster when it's cold outside, great performance as well. I know this is the go-to thing to say every single time, oh, my newest stuff is the best stuff. My old stuff was sucky. But I do think personally that these two are the best ones that I've creatively directed so far. And I've got the new style and everything to them as well. So those are out now. The next fragrance is this Azzaro Forever Wanted. The opening sucks, Absolu. Yeah, so maybe that's not the exact name. It's technically just Forever Wanted Absolu, but the opening, it's not gonna be for everybody, the opening. And that's because it has this weird kind of almost icy, slightly earthy minerality to it when you first spray it on, which can be a little bit off-putting. Now I know you're like, well, why is it even in here then? You know, if the opening sucks, I don't want it. And I'll tell you why. Once the opening settles down, it smells way, way nicer. Just be aware that if you have this or you're testing it at a store and you spray it and immediately hand it to somebody or shove your arm in their face or wherever you sprayed it, we're just gonna go with arm. Arm is good. Then they might go, ugh, that's weird. I don't know how much I like that, actually. You can get that away from me now, thank you. But if you give it just a little time, I mean, even just 5 minutes, it starts to smooth out a lot more. You get whiskey that comes out, vanilla, a bit of woodiness, incense, smells really, really nice at that point, and is one of the better fragrances that has come out this year. It's just that opening. That opening is a little divisive. The next fragrance is none other than Dior Sauvage Eau Forte. What are you doing here? No, actually this stuff sucks. It's not, yeah, I just wanted to say this sucks. Bleu de Chanel Parfum though, does not suck. Thought about putting Bleu de Chanel Exclusive in here, but I think for me, you know, considering price point and when I would wear it and all that other usual stuff, the Parfum is still better. Because if we're just talking about the most sophisticated, high-end smelling, versatile, designer blue fragrance, Bleu de Chanel Parfum could be the best of the best. Lemon zest, lavender, mint, sandalwood as it dries down. This stuff is real nice. Yeah, you can wear this casually, perfect office fragrance. Formally, it would work perfectly. Date night, whatever, doesn't matter. The only real drawback is, it's a Chanel. And by that I mean, if you say anything about them, they'll send a hit squad to your house. I love Chanel. What I mean is, it's a Chanel, it's expensive. You're not gonna be able to find it at discounters for a lower price. And as time goes up, of course, fragrances at retail do slowly creep even higher still. So that is the one drawback of Bleu de Chanel Parfum. And it's not, you know, anything that the fragrance itself is doing wrong. It's just you're gonna have to pay more for it, so. Now something completely different. Why? That's super different from Bleu de Chanel. It's a different company. They are both blue fragrances, of course, and they do kind of directly compete, but this is a very different Y fragrance. So it is actually completely different than Bleu de Chanel Parfum because this is Y Iced Cologne. And the deal with Y Iced Cologne is mint. Lots of mint. And when I say lots, I do mean lots. Okay, like seriously. Now it still has that Y essence to it. So when you smell it, if you're familiar with Y Eau de Toilette, Y Eau de Parfum, all of the ones that came after it, you're gonna be able to get that commonality here in this one also. Basically like you took some of that sweetness from Y Eau de Parfum, but instead of having it be quite as heavy, you just really fizzed it up and added a very icy, brisk, strong mint over top of it. You still keep a bit of that aromatic vibe that Y has. It's basically just taking it and making it extremely uplifting for middle of summer when it feels like your skin is melting off when you step outside. Does smell to me very, very nicely done. And like all the other Y fragrances, people love this stuff. And I do think comparing this directly to Y Eau Fraiche, which was like the previous summertime release and the Y lineup that got discontinued, I think this stuff actually smells better. It's a little more unique. Y Eau Fraiche kind of felt like it was, you know, falling in between. All the other fragrances didn't have enough of its own identity, I think, and that's one of the reasons that it kind of got... Now, I mentioned before the code for these right here, the new French Quarter and Arashi Reef, which is gonna be in the description, but there are also a bunch of other codes down there. So anytime you shop at stores like Gift Express, JOMASHOP, Fragflex, any of those stores that you see in the description or on your screen, you can use these codes to save an extra 5 to 10% depending on which store you're looking at. Just save a little extra cash whenever you're shopping. Let's throw it to this right here next up, an Afnan. We go from turquoise, brown, brown gold, blue, blue, red. And this one is 9 PM Rebel. Price point wise, you're looking at about 30 bucks for this one right here. Some places will have it more. Some you might find it for a little bit less. And in terms of the smell, it's kind of its own thing. It gets compared to Qaed Al Farsan by Lattafa, but I think between the two, this is better. Also gets compared to like taking a little bit of Baccarat Rouge 540 and mixing it with Aventus, which I guess looking at the color scheme here, you could be like, yeah. So the Aventus, that's this part, that's the gray. And the red, that's also the Aventus. Oh no, that's the Baccarat Rouge 540, yeah. So you could kind of draw that comparison, you know, a bit of this, bit of that, put it together, and it kind of becomes its own thing, sort of. It's got pineapple in there, which, Ventus, also has apple and orange, oak moss, vanilla, as well as it dries down. And it's a year-round fragrance. This one, daytime, evening, any season, doesn't matter. For the price point, just a certified monster. Now this is kind of a 2-for-1. This right here, this is the Mustache Bros. So it's kind of like Mario and Luigi because they have a mustache and they're brothers. So this is the Mustache Bros. I know there's a new Mario Brothers movie coming out. I don't know, you know, if any of you guys know, any of you guys that have been around the block, Super Mario Brothers Super Show back in the day, anybody? Friggin' ruled. That's all I'm gonna say, friggin' ruled. So these two right here, it's the Eau de Toilette, the Eau de Parfum. If you don't know anything about them, first off, Where you been? You just got into fragrances, didn't you? That's okay. No judgment. Thank you for being here. But yeah, if you don't know anything about these, you may think, okay, well, eau de toilette, eau de parfum, pretty simple. This is gonna be whatever it is. This is gonna be like this, but a little bit deeper because it's the eau de parfum. But in reality, this right here, the eau de parfum, smells like YSL Tuxedo. So we're talking deep, rich, resinous, sweet, classy, refined, elegant, a good amount of vanilla in there as well, but not like the really heavily gourmand, sticky type of vanilla. And this right here, affordable nowadays, but it was a hype monster, and it was affordable when it became a hype monster, but then it sold out everywhere and the price skyrocketed. It was impossible to find, but this is worthy of the hype. The only thing that you could possibly knock it on is that the performance is not unholy. And by that I mean, of course, eldritch horror levels of monstrous performance. Instead, it's more like, pretty good, it's okay. It's not bad. So that's this one. The eau de toilette, this stuff actually smells more like a classic men's fragrance, kind of like Dior's Eau Sauvage. That being said, it is smoother than Eau Sauvage because Eau Sauvage has a pretty sharp lemon when you first spray it on. The lemon in here is not quite as bracing as that one. Has a good amount of lavender, has oak moss, neroli, barbershoppy, kind of comes across that way. And do be aware, if you're a younger guy, I don't think you're gonna like this, okay? It's super classy. I'm talking mega classy. It is going to appeal more to guys like middle-aged and up because it has that maturity to it. So for that type of person, this stuff rules, especially because it's pretty affordable. But if you're a younger guy looking for something that's just gonna scream and get you noticed, skip that. Scandal. Absolu. This to me is the best Scandal. Now the new one, Scandal Elixir, that stuff is actually really solid. But if I were gonna pick just one, it's gonna be this one. Mirabelle Plum off the top smells amazing. It commands attention as soon as you spray it on. You don't have to wait for it to dry down at all like this one. It just smells good right off the rip. Although again, this one does smell really, really good as it dries down. It has sandalwood in there, smooth, creamy, nice woodiness. Has that caramel sort of vibe that you're gonna find across all the other Scandal fragrances as well. You know, that gourmand adjacent sticky sweet vibe. And then of course chestnut as well. So put that all together, that right there, fall and winter time, you cannot go wrong. This stuff is a masterpiece. Let's go cheap again. This one right here, Safari Breeze by French Avenue. It's got a tassel. Yeah, it's got a tassel, so that means it's high end. Looks like a little flail. Did I say Island Breeze? Safari Breeze. So this dude right here, to me, looks very unassuming. Just as far as all the other clones out there, all the mini presentation styles. It does say Extrait de Parfum right there. Ooh, that must mean it's pricey. But this smells like Tales from Zanzibar. Which, if you know, you know, that is where Tenacious D orders food from. This one has grapefruit, blackcurrant, and coconut off the top. The coconut doesn't come across like sunscreen or anything like that. Also has mint in there, so it's like really zingy, kind of at the tip of your nose when you smell it. As it dries down, a little bit of woodiness, which comes out the more that it stays on your skin. Also a touch of amber as well. For a summertime freshie, longevity on that stuff is amazing, and it smells way more expensive than it costs. So that's 10. Let's do 2 more. Boom, boom. This is the new Aqua de Jo. It is the Eau de Parfum Intense. And that is Carolina Herrera CH Men Passion. These do not smell similar at all. So the Aqua de Jo, this smells more similar to Aqua de Jo, Absolu. Carl, they discontinued my fragrance. Carl, Giorgio said he drew. Or. Carl! So this smells similar to Aqua de Jo Absolu, which was discontinued years back. It was kind of ahead of its time a little bit, because that one, when it came out, you know, a lot of people were like, Aqua de Jo Absolu smells kind of like you took Invictus and mixed it with Aqua de Jo, therefore we hate it. That was like the initial reaction, because that was, to be fair, not done as often then. How dare you pilfer from the other fragrance brand? And nowadays, pretty common that you take something from this and something from that and put it together, and then you're like, oh my God, you made something even better. You're a genius. But when Armani did it with Absolu, at least the initial reaction was a lot of people like poo-poo. And then as time went on, a lot of people were like, actually, it's pretty good. I should get that. Oh, it's discontinued. Oh, damn. So yeah, Armani kind of is bringing that back, but like with a little twist. You know how they've been doing that a lot lately. They did the same thing with Armani Code Eau de Parfum, bring it into the new bottle, keep the same name, but change the actual fragrance to smell similar to a discontinued Armani Code Profumo. So yeah, they've been doing that a lot. But that's what this is, and it smells great. This stuff I like. I prefer it to Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum. I think Eau de Parfum Intense is better. They don't smell like super similar. You just, in terms of names, you know, Eau de Parfum Intense. Farpump, yeah. So this one I like more than that one. And then CH Men Passion. This is, I think, technically a limited edition, but you can still find it. And it's a really nice iris scent. So if you're a fan of iris fragrances, that stuff, absolutely worth checking out. It's good enough that it can hang out with Narciso Rodriguez, Blue Noir Parfum, Gentleman Eau de Parfum, and all the other Gentleman fragrances, Valentino Uomo Intense, Dior Homme Original, stuff like that. It's really solid. It's not as heavy as those. Like, it doesn't have as much of the makeup-y, lipsticky side of things, but the iris is still really nicely done. Kind of like fresh and classy without going too far into the creamy side of things. Top-notch stuff. So there we go, guys. There's some scents that can have you smelling amazing through 2026. A lot of these newer releases, a couple aren't, but most of these are. Again, these new ones are Rashi Reef French Quarter. These are the two I've been working on for a minute now. And there's a lot of different ways that you can get your nose on it. Tried to make it as easy as possible with regard to like the options of in stores, full bottle, smaller presentations, the whole thing. All right, guys, I want to thank you for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.